Hello guys, welcome back. Today I've got a special video because I'm in AToS, Another's Towers of Stupidity, which is a fan game of JATO. Yes, another fan game. And this was one of the older fan games, and I'm beating the soul crushing in Ring 1. Tower of Zigzagging is known for many things. It is known to have a zigzagging progression for most of the tower, it is known for an infamously long final stretch, and is also less known for being AToS' first soul-crushing tower. That's besides the point, as I'll be giving you a guide on how to find it and how to beat it. Firstly, you have to go onto the second floor of the lobby, then go out to the balcony, then go to one of the corners of the building itself, and then climb up the invisible truss. You'll find another portal-like structure where you jump in and then you're in the portal room. Well, now you're here. Good luck and have fun. Welcome to the information intro. This tower is short but loot failable. The punishment is also crazy. The raw gameplay isn't as bad, but the punishment is horrible. So that should be able to explain why the raw gameplay of the floors are easier, however the tower is actually much harder in difficulty. Floor 1 starts off with a few basic jumps and wraps. Bounce from this truss if you're having problems flicking. It's important to know that the angled platform that you're doing parkour over is actually a slope, and you'll slide down it if you fall. This is a tight gap, and along with that you actually have to time this appropriately. When you're on the truss, climb up to the very top, and then go to the bottom and then flick off the bottom onto the next platform. Beware, you'll also hit your head on the sloped platform at the top, but it shouldn't be as bad as a roofed section that is not slanted. Wrap around the spinners and make sure you land on the truss. There is a very good chance on this conveyor that when trying to wrap off, it will actually flat side. Once you've maneuvered around the walls, make sure to have your arm touching the elevator, nothing else, so you can bounce to the next elevator and onto floor 2. Floor 2 starts off with some basic wraps, however the first ladder flick to the next ladder is actually quite problematic at times. Platforms really close to the ground actually save your run from falling further because they can act as a catch zone. This tilting platform's RNG, just get momentum and then go up the high end quickly and then do a head hitter. Ledge grab here, then flick off onto the next platform below. I suggest for the upcoming head hitter, turn as you're going back and then go forward like usual. The upcoming spinner has an elevator in the middle. Just make sure you stay at the corner and don't touch the elevator in the middle at all. Once you're finished with that, you have now made it to floor 3. Be warned, the wraps at the start of floor 3 are actually quite long. As you can see, this section actually requires a lot of camera control. The upcoming walk around should be easier than a traditional walk around since it's angled and there's not much to walk around. Carefully monitor the upcoming spinner platform before you land on it. Make sure to flick off the bottom of the ladder and then go through the tight gap in the wall. Slide down the tilted platform and make sure not to touch the ground at all, and then you should be able to jump onto the wall and to the next platform. Now you have lost your jump and you have to do a bunch of walkarounds landing on ladders. Once you get your jump fully back, you should be able to bounce to floor 4. Floor 4, like all the other floors, begin with some relatively easy wraps and jumps. Make sure to time this right or you'll be falling down quite a long way. Now make sure to do a reverse head hitter into this elevator so you can bounce to the next platform. Use the conveyor to get to the ladder and flick off the ladder into the bleep block wall as it's about to turn off. This head hitter may be inconsistent and hard to time, however luckily it is netted. Beware of your head here, you might have to do a walk around or two. Be sure not to jump when crossing this tightrope. For this spinner wrap, keep your distance from the spinner wall and then jump counterclockwise around it. Be careful when dismounting off this truss. Once you flick off the ladder ahead and onto the bouncing elevator, then you should be free to go to 5. 5 starts off a spinner and then a few complicating wraps. In fact, almost the entire floor is just wraps and ladder flicks, well, except for the final part at least. Carefully jump onto the tightrope and then slowly go across it to the other platform. After that, you should be at the conveyor. Hop on the edge of the conveyor and then wrap around the wall onto the platform behind it. And you'll be pushed around a bit. You can use this to walk around, then immediately wrap onto the inside of the spinner to make sure you're actually on the spinner by the time you dismount. Now, you're on floor 6. Now the upcoming spinner makes the jumps on it much harder because the spinner actually affects how you do the jump. You're more likely to overshot the jump, however, it gets more consistent as you get better. Carefully wrap into the small gap in the wall. Treat this like a normal wrap, except you climb up a truss. The tilt doesn't really do much. Lodge yourself into the gap in the wall, and then when the spinner's about to approach, jump onto the spinner and straight off onto the next platform. Make sure not to fall off this tightrope as you're doing the wrap. Finish this wrap and then approach the tightrope. When you're at the beat blocks on the tightrope, wrap around the side where the beat blocks are off, and then make sure you land back on the tightrope to finish the floor. Well done, now you're at floor 7. Now you have to wait for a swinging platform. Make sure to force your way through the beat blocks as the platform is swinging through them. Then dodge upcoming obstacles while on the swinging platform. When you get to this truss, wrap into the gap and then face the truss. When you get up to the ladder, ledge grab down halfway and then bounce off and onto the part under the roof section. Do some walkarounds until you get out of the roof section. Then after this wrap, you'll have to squeeze through the hole in the roof so that you can get up to the platform. Continue to wrap around these walls until you make it to the conveyor jump. Once you're here, time it so the walls are right on the conveyor, so then they move as you're going through the conveyor and out on the other side. Now you're at the outside. If you fall, you fail. No pressure. You go to the beat block wrap, make sure you wrap around the beat block. When you get to the spinner jump, time it carefully, and then make sure once you're on the spinner blade, then you stay in the center until you're ready to jump off. Flick around this ladder, preferably don't glide so that you don't have a chance of falling off. These angle wraps are a little bit janky, and it's hard to get onto the platform after the truss coming up. However, if you get past those, you've basically almost got an guaranteed 8 run. Just one more jump left, and that jump is mostly netted. Alright, just touch the teleporter and then you'll make it to floor 8. Well done, you've made it to the net and now you have a guaranteed 10 final stretch run. Wrap onto the spinner and then make sure you walk around the wall. Use this X pusher by going sideways. Try not to hit your head on the tilted platform here. On this ladder, ledge grab and then go to the bottom, then flick off and onto the roof section. Treat this walk around like a normal non-tilted one. Now climb up this structure and then get to the wraparounds where you'll wrap around the walls and onto the next X pusher. Push this X pusher backwards to make sure you don't climb off or fall off. Now use this speed that you've got to do the required jumps. Jump on and off of the spinner and then use the conveyor to get to the end of the speed section. Wrap around this tilted platform to the truss behind it. Wrap around these walls and onto the elevator jump. Use the elevator to climb up further, then do the last wrap and onto floor 9. Now that you're on floor 9, wrap around these walls and climb up further. To up to ladder flick, manually ladder flick around the wall and then onto the truss platform. Continue to climb up these platforms and wrap like usual. Under this tilted roof section, make sure not to get flat-sided when you jump out. At this very thin X pusher, make sure you stay relatively in the center of it so that you don't accidentally walk off one way or another. Make sure to do these ladder flicks, preferably not shift flicking. Try not to spin these platforms too much, and flick around the structure or flick straight to the top of this structure. Take the spinner to the X pusher, and then you'll be a few jumps away from 10. Welcome to what's basically floor 10, the hardest floor of the tower, unfortunately. We start off with a ton of basic wraps you've seen before in the tower that should probably be muscle memory to you by now. However, later on, things get a little bit complicated. You don't have to worry about that for now. Treat this like a normal head hitter, except you start off sideways. Now you have a wrap leading to a tightrope, then leading to the part I consider complicating. But before that though, just take this tightrope slowly. This upcoming part you have to do a bunch of falling platform wraps, and then there's one falling platform linked to another, which you have to head it onto, and then onto the truss to the final stretch. And well, welcome to the final stretch. This final stretch is actually longer than Tower of Vent Traumas, which is actually crazy. Anyways, if you fall, make sure to go towards the center of the tower to hopefully be teleported back to 7. For this upcoming jump, you actually don't jump, and you actually fall down onto the platform below. It doesn't matter which side of the truss you climb, you just flick off of it and onto the next platform. Jump from the higher end of this tilted one-stud beam, and then onto the wall, and then eventually onto the next platform. For the wrap under the roof, make sure to actually skip the first one and go to the second platform, because otherwise you have to do a ridiculously hard walk around. When flicking from the first part of the ladder to the next, make sure you don't jump or otherwise you hit your head on the roof and fall. From the closer end of the ladder, flick from there and wrap around the wall onto the next platform. Make sure to dodge these shovers on the X pusher by timing your X pushing carefully. This spinner shouldn't be too hard to master. Be careful when jumping from the spinner to the next platform. As you can see, that was really close on my part. Make sure to not flick off this truss but bounce off this truss. I learnt the hard way. You've only got a few more wraps until victory. Good luck and Godspeed. This wrap actually looks like one of the last jumps of 7 outside, if you remember that jump. Make sure to dodge the spinner as you're pushing the X pusher, and then when you release, keep jumping across the platforms until it's fully stationary. Make sure that one wrap to the truss, you don't hit your head. Please don't hit your head. Now you have the final jump. You may hit your head, but good luck. GG! Let's go! Nice. That was good. Nice. Well, that's the end. Good job. There's a Canclide false wall in the corner of that room, so you can actually get to the main part of the win room. If you'd like to see me do more AToS guides, then let me know down in the comments. And if you'd like to be a part of the community, join my Discord server in the description. And for some reason I'm also part of a Trinity of Chaos, so you can join that one too. It'll be down there as well. Heck, maybe you'd be so kind enough to like. I don't know. Your choice. Maybe even subscribe. I don't know. But the option's there. Just saying. Alright, thanks for watching. You all mean so much to me. See ya.